You know, there comes a point in life where pretending starts to feel heavier than whatever you're trying to hide. For me, that moment came at 57. That's when I finally said out loud to myself, to my family, to anyone who would listen, I'm exhausted. I've been exhausted for years and I can't keep pretending. I can't keep pretending I'm fine. Today I want to talk about that exhaustion, the kind that doesn't go away with sleep, the kind that comes from decades of being the strong one, the dependable one. We all know about that. The fixer, the peacekeeper, the one who just keeps going. This video isn't about burnout in the corporate sense. It's about life burnout. It's about soul burnout. The exhaustion you hide because you think you're supposed to. If any of this hits home, then stay with me. This might be the most honest conversation I've ever had online. Do you ever look back on old photos of yourself and realise you can see the tiredness in your eyes? Even though you thought you were hiding it all the time. I've done that a lot lately. I've also looked back on the ones where I looked really skinny and I thought I was fat, but I didn't mean to become someone who hid everything. I think it started small, like most things do. I'm fine here, no worries, I've got it there. A smile when I really wanted to sit down and cry, which I want to do a lot lately. Somewhere along the way, it became my default, my mask. The truth is, I was exhausted long before I admitted it. My exhaustion is tricky. It doesn't show up all at once. It kind of creeps up on you early in the morning, late at night. It comes from being what everyone needs you to be, even when you're running on fumes. And the worst part, I don't think I even realised how tired I was because it became the normal. It was normal to be exhausted. It was normal to feel the way I did. And I think my exhaustion, it grew in a soil of expectations, of responsibility, of survival. And if I'm being brutally honest, fear of disappointing everybody, fear of what other people were going to say, fear of being judged, or fear of not being seen, or fear of being seen as weak. And I think, you know, I grew up in the 70s and 80s and we were taught that being tired was a sign of laziness. Taking a break was indulgent. You just had to put your big girl pants on, get up and crack on. Rest was something you earned, not something you deserved. So you grow up believing that exhaustion is just part of adulthood. It's part of being brave, and it's part of being a parent, part of keeping your family together, part of holding yourself together, I suppose. And if you're really good at pretending, people don't even know you need help. They think you're fine. They think you're unshakable, you're dependable, you're the one that's always got it together. You know, but this is what I think. People who look the strongest are often the ones breaking silently. My breaking point wasn't dramatic. There wasn't a big meltdown or some life-changing event. It was something so small that from the outside it probably looked like nothing. I was standing in my kitchen one morning, making a coffee, as you do. Nothing special, nothing emotional. But I remember looking down at my hands and they were shaking, and I felt like my body was shaking inside as well, and thinking, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do coffee. I don't want to do the housework. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to smile. I don't want to be the dependable one. I didn't want to do any of it. I really didn't. And for the first time, instead of pushing the feeling away, I actually listened to it. I let the exhaustion speak. It was a full-on scream I ignored for decades. Hiding, exhaustion doesn't make it go away. It just compounds it. I lost pieces of myself over the years. And I think we all do that. You know, my laughter changed, my patience wore thin, my body started sending signals that I kept ignoring. And emotionally, I felt like I was disappearing. And I think you start to forget what you want and what you need. I think maybe because you're always checking what everybody else needs. You know, we put them first. You know, and something I wish someone had told me sooner is there is a price to pay for pretending you're fine. And that price is yourself. I became tired in ways I didn't even recognise, tired of noise, tired of expectations, tired of being me, tired of being the glue, tired of being everyone's emotional buffer, tired of being the one who holds the peace while no one holds you. And I think that's the kind of exhaustion that breaks people. The day I admitted I was exhausted, everything shifted. Not because anything magically improved, but I think because something in me finally just relaxed. I just let go. I stopped fighting myself. I told my family, I told my friends, I told the mirror, I'm tired and I need help and I need rest. And you know what? You know what shocked me the most? People didn't run away. They didn't judge me. They didn't say, oh, you're just being dramatic. They showed up. Some didn't, of course. They didn't, that happens, but that's okay, because the ones that mattered showed up more. And I think the most important thing is I finally showed up for myself. So let me tell you what the last few years have taught me, now that I've stopped pretending. I don't believe rest is a weakness. I kind of feel it's an act of rebellion in a world that romanticizes burnout. You don't owe anyone anything. Being a human and having emotions is allowed. And you can say no without giving a TED talk about it. And asking for help doesn't make you a burden. It makes you honest. And exhaustion isn't something that you push through. Definitely not forever. Eventually it asks to be heard. And I think we ignore that. You deserve the same care that you give everyone. Self-abandonment is not noble. It's a slow goodbye to yourself. I believe you can start over at any age. I'm starting over at 57. 57 isn't too late. 67 isn't too late, and neither 77. The day you tell yourself your truth is the day you get your life back. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have it all and that I even have it figured out, because I don't. I don't believe healing is linear. Some days I feel completely overwhelmed. Some days the old habits creep back in, but here is what I'm doing differently. I rest without guilt. I stop when I'm tired, not when I'm broken. I say no without explaining myself. I've set boundaries, and that's something that I've never been very good at. I let people take care of me. I've learned to receive, which I think is so important. And I've let myself feel things instead of locking them in a mental basement. I actually choose peace over productivity, and it feels good. I check in with myself the way I used to check in with everyone else. And honestly, I feel more alive now than I have in decades. And I don't think it's because my life suddenly got easier, but because I finally stopped living in survival mode. So I think I kind of want to say, if you're watching and thinking, crikey, I feel this in my bones, then I want to say something to you, and that is that you're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to say, I can't keep carrying on with all of this. You're allowed to set boundaries. You don't get a medal for pretending to be okay. You don't have to earn your right to slow down. And you don't need permission to take care of yourself. And you know what? You're not failing. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're human. Exhaustion is a message. Listen to it. It's not telling you to try harder. It's telling you to stop abandoning yourself. So, if there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this: you don't have to wait until your 50s, your 60s, or your 70s to stop pretending you're fine. You can start today, this moment right now. Take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw and let the truth in. You're allowed to be tired. And you're allowed to come back to yourself. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And if this spoke to you, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. I am right here with you. Thank you.